Good day and welcome to our chat podcast.
Okay there?
With me, Ross Hornby.
Oh, nice.
And
Chris Trott.
Alan Smith.
Alan Smith is here. This is episode 19
Mm.
of 19, so thank you for it.
Almost hit the big 2-0.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, oh God. Like, this
Almost.
is probably the most consistent we've ever been with Hat Chat.
Yeah.
And,
So we got to episode 2019. Sorry, 19 of 20. Oh,
yeah,
fuck, I just read
19.
2019. 19 in 2019 is what I wanted to bring
You're
up.
right, mate. Have you had a hard day? Is it the gecko? It's the gecko, isn't it? You can talk about the gecko thing if you want. But
that's not very nice.
So basically, Kyle Wynn did the Fingal.
Thank you
very
Carl
much for
Wynn. Very metal.
that. You can send those in at hat-films.com.
I've had quite a few come in, which is great. However, they're all shit. So if you could send more in to hat-films.com, we'd really appreciate it. No, I'm joking. We
playing on the spoons.
I'd like to hear that. If you could make the theme on spoons,
and you need different sizes.
that'd be amazing. Well, yeah, you would do, yeah.
Yeah,
Maybe bottles?
They're mainly a percussion instrument, I think.
Bottles.
Blown bottles, yeah.
Yeah.
They
can work that out.
Don't cheat by using logic.
Yeah, and film it, for God's sake. So we haven't really planned anything specific as usual, which I think is fine.
I don't think we need to say it anymore.
We don't need to say that anymore, but it's just we put talking points on our little thing.
Just remove it from the top.
It's blank, so our talking point is anything. I've got a load of really random funny news stories, which I can throw out some headlines, and you guys can be like, wow, that's intriguing me. I want to hear more about that one.
What do they call it like prompts, right?
Essentially,
like r/writing prompts.
Jumping pads. Leapfrogs.
Jump, yeah.
And we can jump from anything. Like, for example, sexy McDonald's. What does that mean?
I don't know, but that's coming up later.
That is coming
tease them for
we'll tease
content,
that one, yeah.
I mean.
Of course. There's Zoom Enhanced Pervert.
Did you make these up?
I did, yes.
All right.
Ross's.
These are my own headlines from previous other headlines.
Right.
Like refund from a prostitute.
So you're changing the already clickbaity titles to your own version of them.
And that's fine. That's fine. We accidentally adopted an adult. Come on, these are great names.
I like the look of the Brewdog story, actually.
The Brewdog story. Oh, I didn't make that one up.
Boobs on fence. Racist women.
Yes. Pricey fish supper. I was running out of ideas.
Zoom enhance.
Well, I mean,
pervert.
I'm proud of that one. I like that one a lot.
Wait, so are we going to start these now, or are we doing something else?
I mean,
first?
we can talk about anything.
Anything else going on?
Just throw something at me. What did we talk about last time? Mechs. We talked about hippocampuses.
Yeah.
What's changed in your week this week?
The weather in Bristol's got worse. I think that's
fuck me.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's a
weather
jump
talk.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
It's just been raining a lot, isn't it?
Lots of raindrops.
Yeah.
But on the plus side, one of our videos hit 1 million views, and that's rare. That's a rare treat.
Crazy.
For us.
That's YouTube.
That's a weird thing in the algorithm, and we have we
just imagine if every video behaved in that manner, you'd just be like, "Wow, this is great."
I think that's why YouTube make it so ephemeral. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, if you knew how to get that milli.
That sucks though, man. Like, I mean, I'd like to be able to, like, obviously we've done a few videos since then and kind of tried to match the format.
Doesn't work.
Doesn't work. Not really.
You can literally match the thumbnail, the tags, even the title, and the game you're playing.
Yeah.
And it will not have the same effect.
So in video terms, essentially, we've rolled the dice 3,000 times, and one of them got lucky.
And it could have been a bug.
In a way, I think it might have been a bug. It might have been a bug. Because for one, a video of us shooting ourselves in the face is still monetized, which is great. And it has been manually confirmed. Someone looked at that and said,
for context,
yes,
if you're not one of those million that have watched it, it's a VR game where we're playing Russian roulette around a table. And it's us three with VR goggles on, picking up a virtual gun and shooting ourselves or each other. Mm-hmm. And that got 1 million views and gained us like 8,000 subs.
Almost 10,000 subs.
Almost 10,000 subs.
So we've hit like 904.
Which is nuts. We've been not stagnant, but we've been like...
You can say it like it is. Say it. You're allowed to say the word. The sub count has been...
800,000 since what, 20...
For 4 years?
15? Because
we made that Filthy Animals video where we were
800K.
Like, let's get to 1 million. And then... 4 years later, we're like, what the fuck were we doing, man?
We got to like 890, and then it kind of just, it was going up and down and kind of staying in the middle.
I remember remember years ago when I got that drone that was like not a DJI drone. It was like, had like big blue arms on it and stuff. I remember talking to those people and saying like, oh, it'd be really great to get a drone. Like, we're going to be approaching our 1 million subs soon, and it'd be really fun to do like a big like 1 million subs like thing on a field or something. And they're like, yes, that's really great. That long ago. That was like, what, 4 or 5 years ago?
Just email them again. So, any thoughts on this? Any thoughts on that idea? Because
well, if you look at the Filthy Animals episode, though, we already knew it was slowing down dramatically because we did first an 800K celebration. And
then a 790K celebration after that.
But back down again.
In that video, I remember we did it to encourage more subscriptions because it's like, oh, if you hit the subscribe button, it's pushing us towards the million. Like we made that a big part of the narrative.
Of course we did.
So I think we used that as like let's kickstart the whole subs to a milli.
Which solidifies we don't know anything about YouTube. That's just...
I feel like the longer you're on YouTube, the less informed you get.
Oh, yeah. We are just shooting in the dark right now.
You also
We're
get
in a room
stuck
of
in your
clouds.
ways. A lot of people think they know YouTube just because they've been doing it.
Well, they worked out one way, and then their videos replicate that success, right?
Yeah, like, and then they're making videos on like this is how to do well.
Fortnite secrets every 2 seconds. Yeah,
but the biggest
and they do like what's the word where they talk in front of an audience? Seminars and stuff like that,
okay,
and tutorials on like how to make it like I did. That you
like,
can't replicate. Like we literally did a replication of the success that we just had, and that's us doing it.
Trying it,
Unless your channel is like over that hump and everybody's watching you for that specific thing, and no one else. Then.
Bear in mind that video was out for almost 2 weeks before it started gaining views, which is the rarest thing I've ever seen on YouTube.
It just got picked up by the recommended thing.
Yeah. Maybe someone in YouTube HQ is just like, I'm going to do these guys a favor.
You know what?
These guys are drowning. Let's bring them back to the surface.
Let's put on the hose.
Let's give them a second chance.
View tornado.
They just want it finally. Someone out there's done a view.
My brother texted me about that. He said, "Oh wow,
is it working?
Nice job on your nice job on your million views video, or whatever." And I was like, "Thanks." He's like, "Yeah, me and Dad spent a load of money on Chinese view bots." And for a minute, I was like, "You know what? I believe that."
Thanks. The reply was just, "Cheers, man. Thank you very much."
Like
until it gets purged next month by YouTube.
I was like, I mean, maybe you did. He didn't, but like for a second, I thought about maybe you have.
I guess anyone could do that, right?
And I'm sure I think they get cut off pretty quick. I think there's like...
But if it's enough to like just get your eyes on it and then you fill it with bots, right? So that then actual eyes get on it. That's the whole point of bots.
Yeah, but I don't...
This has turned into a tactics meeting. So you get the bots.
I don't think the actual eyes do get on it. That's the thing. Like, so the bots might give it that initial boost, but... I don't think that means it gets pushed into recommended.
Maybe not on YouTube, but I think that's how other social media platform things work, is where they will boost your account.
Yeah.
So then it feeds into the whole like search forms, and then real people then interact with it. So that's why you have like the Boris Johnson posts where there's like a load of bot replies saying, "Good one, Boris. Nice job, Boris."
God, it's almost making
Cambridge Analytica
media unusable. Yeah. Like it really is. It's
Don't
getting
trust
so
anything.
bad. And like the thing is, the problem is as well. It's like everybody knows that there are bots out there. Like you say, if you look at things like that,
but it's just
they're getting smart. They're really smart.
My parents wouldn't recognize a bot.
Yeah, but then again, how much do they care about?
These people are saying this thing, and it's just like, no, they're not. That's all fake. And it's
but do your parents look at like replies on Twitter to messaging?
I think my mum uses Facebook. I don't think my dad bothers with any of that stuff.
Oh yeah, Facebook. Yeah,
the thing is, it's like Facebook seems to be for.
Yeah,
the older generation now.
You're going to get political posts that have been put there because you've been data mined, essentially, or one of your close friends has privacy settings, and you're tagged in one of the videos or photos. They've got your data, and then they're feeding you political stuff or propaganda stuff to sway you in the elections and things like that.
Maybe we should start a campaign to like delete your Facebook account. You know, because I know it was very vogue, like. It's been quite popular at certain periods of time. Like people are like, that's it, I'm deleting Facebook. Like I remember one of my friends did it like 10 years ago almost. Like they just and to be fair, I completely lost touch with that person.
But then what you by deleting Facebook, you then need to not use Oculus products, which we've been using recently.
Any Facebook
remove Instagram, WhatsApp from your phone. They have fucking got their hooks in.
WhatsApp I would say it's owned, but like, I mean. I don't know what they do with it, but like WhatsApp doesn't have the same level of like you don't consume. You don't
pick up a
news
message from some Boris is an email. You go, make sure to vote for me.
Yeah.
It's still likely
to get my number.
Data mine you though.
Potentially, I mean illegally they could, not legally. I mean, it also the messaging is encrypted, end-to-end encryption between a sender and a receiver.
Choose a
we hope
private
so. They certainly say it.
Message format. I think there's a specific setting for end-to-end encryption.
Whenever I message somebody new on WhatsApp, it gives me the choice to encrypt it each time.
Right.
And obviously I accept it.
Oh, the Messenger, Facebook Messenger
yes, please.
is different.
Right.
So unless you choose
well.
a private conversation, they're all default to like whatever their default terms and conditions are of that, which I assume is the authorities want to check.
I imagine the problem is, it's like, say you said, and there are plenty of like people who know that this kind of thing is going on, right? Like what we're talking about. The problem is, it's like, okay, well, why don't we all go and use a different site? It's like, well, are you going to build it? Are you going to pay for it? Are you going to like? I think the problem is,
how long do you trust it before it? You know.
Well, because it's expensive to run these things, and unless
and then it needs funding.
Yeah.
And then those investors.
So how about we start a social media platform that requires a paid subscription, and that is the only thing that funds the social media website.
Okay.
And that way you don't need to go to outside investors. You don't need to do this. You don't need to do that. And the people coming into it accept that all information is encrypted.
Unless we want to look at it.
Because
I want to see some dodgy messages.
Yeah, unless we want to sell it to like, I don't know, like Russia, China,
right.
like America, Cambridge Analytica.
I feel like this might be the problem, guys.
Oh.
Yeah. What? Temptation.
The temptation.
Or money.
Let's have a see what's Britney Spears WhatsApping about.
Oh, I was really against like
the nail on the blower.
No. What was the one that like shut down News of the World?
Yeah, News of the World.
Let's bring back News of the World.
Old school.
Yeah.
Well, we're hacking your phone call, wasn't it? Like just your voicemail, because most people didn't have
right?
an ad
voicemail,
like
phone
password.
jacking.
What celebrity is suing? I think it was
loads of them.
Prince
sued.
Harry is suing.
Oh yeah,
yes.
he's suing.
But that was a letter, I believe. It was a private letter.
I thought it was a phone call as well.
Prince Harry lawsuit.
I'd be very surprised if anyone's going to admit to phone tapping now.
Because there was a funny there was a video about it, and some guy who's obviously part of the news media that they were suing. He was just very much like, I don't know why he's doing this. It's just stupid. It's just it's probably going to ruin us. It's like, maybe you shouldn't just say loads of shit about him. Like he obviously that's in a way an abuse of power from his end, but ultimately I guess he's just sick to death of all this shit.
Probably, yeah. I've got a crazy tinfoil hat theory here, right?
Okay, do you want the tinfoil?
I got a couple more of these for you later as well.
Oh, okay.
Sweet. So, all right.
I love tinfoil hat theories.
If we picture our existence
Yeah.
and what we physically have seen and witnessed and have evidence for...
Groundhog Day. This is again. I want this to...
Things aren't looping, so don't worry about that.
Yeah.
We've never actually met or seen Donald Trump, as an example, or Boris Johnson, or Theresa May, or any of these people. All of that has been consumed entirely online.
Okay.
What if Donald Trump doesn't exist?
Okay. Yeah.
And what if all we're seeing is, because we've been so heavily data mined, is propaganda pieces to...
I mean, it's just
It's possible. Why would they show you something that
Bernie Sanders
so against?
Or the rivals of Donald Trump
are trying to make him look like evil.
Trying to make him look like an idiot.
Isn't that essentially what Donald Trump has been saying is happening?
But
has he though?
He's a robot.
Has he though?
He has. He says that everyone's out to get him. It's the biggest witch hunt in history. All this sort of stuff.
But what if that's really
an
algorithm?
A double bluff? Is that what you're getting at? I mean, it's possible. Yes.
Okay, so he said it's possible.
I wouldn't go for probable. I would say
you're a maniac.
He
thinks it's possible.
I know that's an extreme level.
Yeah,
of
I know,
things,
but to entertain the idea is valuable.
There's a chance that the sources that we find credible, are equally susceptible to corruption of that level.
Oh, absolutely.
Like we trust BBC, right? To a point. Nowadays, maybe not so much because their articles are falling apart.
Yeah,
I think it's kind of like you just have to make a decision at some point what to trust and what to believe.
I think they would have to deepfake a lot of shit that he's literally said out loud with his mouth for you to go, that's someone
I've seen the
making
technology.
Do you know what I mean? I know. I've
but
seen
what
the
about the
technology
tweets?
too.
Like just the sentiment. Just
tweets are tweets.
Like what are you trying
tweets
to...
Are the
this
easiest.
is the thing, yeah. The tweet thing could be anybody, right?
Yeah,
really,
I know.
When you think about it, so it could be some fucker who thinks it's really funny to say dumb shit about other countries or whatever.
And again,
him saying it stood next to his helicopter is the most real kind of element you'll get from that, right?
But you've seen V for Vendetta.
I have, yes, but Natalie Portman.
Yeah,
and Hugo Weaving.
And you've seen Iron Man 3, is it?
Yes, unfortunately.
With the guy that's actually an actor. in it, and there's a big reveal.
Oh yeah.
And he's made out to be a terrorist, and he's actually just a stooge for a greater threat. Just saying.
He's saying that we should be suspicious about every single
I say
thing
we check the sources of everything.
I think that should be done anyway.
But it's impossible because you just consume it so much and so often, and no one really wants to do the legwork. They're just hoping that the trusted sources have done it for them, which is where the danger is.
Fact check
right?
every single thing.
Yeah. Because of
fact
online,
check the fact checkers.
like the filter's removed, right?
Yeah.
The credibility of journalism is kind of diminished because you're also put up against essentially popular opinion.
Mm-hmm.
This person on Reddit has got the most upvoted opinion on something. People are more likely to believe that because it's got more upvotes than this other opinion that doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
Versus a fact, it may be a fact, and that journalist may have gone through all the efforts and hoops to make sure that's credible, but it's only getting like 100 views a week, and it's not getting promoted as much as this Reddit user is because he's got all the karma because he's posted memes back in the day.
I mean,
credibility is based on popularity.
Yes, to an extent. I think that like
I guess
Donald Trump's a robot.
Saying that journalists are trying to create sensationalist media in order to sell things to make money so they can live their lives, I think it makes complete sense. What I would say about the whole I don't know, it's sort of a thought experiment, is like why would they do that? So let's say, for example, you said that, and why would they do it in that manner? So you said Bernie Sanders wants to get it in, wants to become president. So it's in his interest to make himself look as good as possible. Now, to provide contrast, you could also defame and make up things about your opposition, right? To make them seem worse than you, to make you seem like an even better choice. However, fully fabricating the existence of a person is probably a much more complicated way of doing things than simply telling people what you want to do, how you're going to change things.
Or pushing that person into power.
Yeah.
Who's already kind of...
Like, Occam's razor is what I think it is. That's why I had to check then. Occam's razor, essentially, it's not this word for word, but essentially the simplest answer is often the right one, right? So
Donald Trump's a robot. That sounds quite simple.
He's probably just a 70-year-old man that's losing his mind and is a complete narcissistic, misogynistic racist. I think that's probably the simplest. Who has no bearing on reality,
of the population, right?
Is more interested in making himself look good than his country. It doesn't really care about anybody else.
Yeah.
I mean, like that.
If it doesn't affect him or his bottom line, then yeah.
Alternative angle. The people working for him are making him look worse, so they want him out of power.
Potentially, but then
they could not. They could have done this a long time ago. Yeah.
The fact is, there's a group of these guys
to the point where he looks at fault, and therefore no one else.
He's already the reason he's still in power is because of inaction. It's not because people are acting to make him look bad. The reason he's still there is inaction. So I don't think that's the case either. I know that this is probably just thought experiment stuff, but honestly, I know
there's a lot of money and power there, and they're supporting it because they're still getting a trickle of that pie.
The Donald Trump thing is essentially just probably a bad example, but imagine all the other subtle media influences that could be fabricated.
I think we have an epidemic of leaders, world leaders, who are completely under the influence of money and power. Like Boris Johnson is no different at all, Neither is, quite a few other world leaders. I don't want to go and poke too much out there because I've already got enough enemies. But
they are all watching.
We finally get the chance to talk. But whilst Theresa May was just this painful, slow death of inaction and just awfulness.
Trying these methods, and it's just like, this guy's really is hard.
This is really complicated. And Boris Johnson's come along and just taken straight out of the leaf of the out of the book of
I don't want
Donald Trump of just being I'm just going to do things like I do, and we'll see how the cards fall, this sort of thing.
Deal with the aftermath rather than fixing the problem.
It's a scarier premise to assume that Boris Johnson's being stupid. He's not.
No, there's a thought process behind what he's doing.
He doesn't get to where he is by being dumb. You don't get to be in the House of Commons by being dumb.
Well, but
so it's dangerous to assume that he's just bumbling around, not knowing what he's doing.
No, but there is finance.
I think that is less true than it's ever been, though. With the whole, you don't get to the House of Commons by being dumb. actually there's quite a few express routes into the House of Commons. For example,
I feel like this could be another YouTube series.
Well, like the
Playing dumb.
Do you know how many
I get
people?
Into the House of Commons.
You know the famous Etonian photo of them at school.
Yeah.
And the Bullingdon Club, like the
That was
Bullingdon
without
Club.
the pig because the pig was
that was without the pig,
without
but
the
that
pig,
was
yeah.
the pig was a result of the Bullingdon Club.
Of course.
So the Bullingdon Club is this
Yeah.
like basically posh boys club. They're all minted.
Yeah.
They get together and form. It's basically a clique. It's a power clique.
Of course.
And yes, you're right. You do have to have some level of operating capability, but you can still be very, very smart and completely ideologically stupid. Like, you know, so you can see how to smooth, you can see how to move in groups, you can see how to get elected, all these sort of things. But that doesn't mean that at your core you're ideologically smart. You don't go, wouldn't it be great if there weren't so many homeless people in this city so that when I step out of my beautiful townhouse, I'm not harassed on my way to work? No, they don't think like that. They'll think like, just want a big house. I want to do my thing. Fuck everything else. Well, I'm rich. Why do I need to worry about that? You know, like, I think that if you look at...
yeah, but...
I don't think
it's that black and white, though, is it?
Of course
like,
it's not.
It's
Nothing is black and
it's
white.
It's like
never
all
been
my
that black and white,
decisions
is
are
it?
based on me wanting money. I don't think that's the case.
Money and power...
But there might
very
be more people behind it who are also benefiting from it, and that's probably a bigger pressure than we're aware of.
I just...
Which is...
Like, why do we do what we do? Like, in part, why do you feel the pressure to succeed? Like, you know, you do. Everyone feels the pressure to succeed. Like,
yeah.
if you didn't
but not
succeed-
not to anyone's detriment.
What, the pressure to succeed?
Yeah.
The pressure to succeed is a huge detriment to people.
What do you mean?
Mental health is like pretty much like
no, I mean
half
like,
of it.
I'm not hurting other people by doing so. Like, for example, the homeless thing is like,
Yeah.
I don't care
Right,
about...
your actions aren't... Yeah.
My actions aren't affecting a populace of people.
Unless they all start vacuuming themselves, in which
yeah.
case we have to start looking into why that is.
But ultimately, the onus is
it's
on
already
them.
age-gated,
I'm
guys.
not instating laws that they have to follow, and if they don't, they're going to jail.
Exactly, yeah.
I'm just being...
Or putting
me.
people in power so that you are immune from things. Which,
So,
Trump
I
moves.
don't know what point was being made there.
Well, basically, the idea is just because you're in power, it doesn't mean that you necessarily got there because you're the right person to be in power, I think is ultimately.
But we also shouldn't remove the fact that they are also...
They are calculated, or are they thinking about what they're doing? Absolutely.
And maybe their outward image...
Sorry, Craig, can you stop eating that double-decker whilst we're doing a podcast?
Enjoying a nice double tick.
Sorry, I just heard him.
Let's do it as quietly as possible.
I'm hungry.
I always struggle to get into the politics thing because I don't know enough about it. I don't want to come across as like, this is how it is.
But you're allowed to have an opinion on what you've
Yeah.
read. And it depends if you've not paid attention to it or read the news or whatever. Then fair enough. Stand back from it, and you don't need to talk about it, right?
You
know,
don't
it's
have
not
to.
But you're allowed, like Ross says, you're allowed to have an opinion, and you're allowed.
I just don't feel like my opinion's well informed enough.
Right. Okay.
And therefore, it could be damaging.
Well, read some books, but secondly,
But
also
who's writing the books? Robots. Like, no one knows the
Well,
sources.
also, like,
the robots are in charge.
It's also, I think, political opinion and like discussion around all things that affect us as human beings.
Yeah.
It's about projecting your feelings and your idea of what you think is right. Like, yes, you might be wrong. Like,
I mean,
like,
look at what America's done recently, where they've taken their troops away, and now the
Have
Kurds...
you actually ever been to
I've
real
not been-
America, though?
No. Well,
you end up in a plane, simulated,
right, okay.
and then you're looking through a tiny port window.
So have I
you've
just
seen the
been
new
on
fight sim.
a lot, like in Hollywood,
Just gone around and been
like
on
a
a
film
lot.
lot. Like
Yeah.
that was an Always Sunny episode, wasn't it?
even if it was all
They
fake,
pretended
why
to
would
get
that
her in a
matter?
plane, and then
Because we're putting so much, gravitas behind it. Like, we're wasting
Okay,
a
so
lot of
say
our
we
time.
didn't put gravitas behind it. Say if we didn't do these things, what's the point in living?
That's the difficulty.
also
It's because we're fed so many lies and fake news, and it's hard to
Well, no,
discern.
it's a case of nut up and shut up, or shut up. Like, as in, fight it, say things, be vocal, make decisions, don't make decisions, don't be vocal, or blow your brains out. That is literally
Yeah.
like that is.
And that got us 1 million views. So
that's a
exactly, yeah.
that is a human condition.
I
Like,
feel
also,
like that's a destiny.
if you don't want to play this game, if you don't want to be in this life, there is a way out. And there's quite a few philosophers who've spoken about this.
there is a huge disconnect between our life and the Kurds, for example.
Yeah.
We don't live like that, like where they are. We have no reference point of what that is.
But
So
everyone's got
therefore,
an
it's easy
opinion
for a presidential figure who's a billionaire who has no reference point of the people that he rules over, for them either.
Yeah.
So it's more of a case of fuck it, I don't live there,
yeah.
and I don't have to spend money on the troops. So
even-
therefore, I'll pull out, knowing full well that thousands of people are about to die. Fuck
Yeah.
it, doesn't affect me.
Even people under the same umbrella have differing opinions. Like, for example, one person owns a house here, they own a house across the street. this side of the street receives more crime for whatever reason because it's on a bypass versus the other person, and they both have to elect someone they want to reduce crime, but the other person's like, we're going to reduce taxes on your house. You know, those two people on the same street, even though crime's on that side of the street, is going to vote differently, but they're put under the same umbrella.
I think MPs, when you have a constituency like that, are probably looking to address the wider problems of the constituency as a whole, rather than just like you either get reduced taxes or you get
the
less
greater
violent
good,
crime.
right? Yeah.
Trying to be, exactly. Trying to be utilitarian, the most good for the most people.
Yeah.
You should just read a bunch of philosophy. It's like
You got another double decker?
you should. Have you got another double deck?
No,
You've been double deck.
You've
asking.
double deckered. Why? Because I think that'll help.
Well, you haven't got
I
one.
got 3.
It's just
No, it's got 3.
But yeah,
bastard.
Just want one.
yeah. I mean,
it's vastly complicated.
politics is fucked.
But I think this, with Mental Awareness Day being yesterday,
Sure, yeah.
Mental health awareness.
mental health awareness,
Yeah.
mental awareness,
Just mental awareness.
mental. I think this oversaturation of media and not knowing the truth from fiction is damaging, really damaging. Like, no one really, it's hard to judge and sift through it, and no one wants to or has the time to. It just creates a general stress.
Well, the natural reflex when you sit down on a toilet, you get your phone out, right? Like, remember when we were out in the States and we had like 3-day black spot? That genuinely was quite cathartic.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like
Yeah, I think, I recommend it to anyone to take breaks from social media and stuff. I try not to use too much at home. Like,
and then they take a break. It's like, I'll listen to Hat Chat to wind down, and then
course,
boom,
yeah.
here we are
Exactly.
hitting you with
and
hard
then
politics.
that's why people go like, I prefer it when you guys make funny jokes rather than that, because
and you
we
can
are.
see why, but
Yeah, sorry. I mean, I get it. I get why you say
Yeah.
that. But you know, Trott started it.
It's my fault.
it's the robots that started.
I was playing
So
robot
can
game.
we now get on to the Brewdog slammed over dumb burger that is half meat and half plant based?
Yes, let's have a look at see what
can.
that is. It's a story from the Mirror.
Oh, it's the Mirror, great.
So that's
that's my one. I put
yeah,
that one
you
up
put
there.
that one up, Trot. So do you want to have a little
So
juicy
a
cat?
pub
Brewdog.
chain has come under fire after announcing the launch of a new hybrid burger containing a surprising ingredient.
Basically, there's an uproar because
I think I've seen
vegans,
this,
yeah,
you know, you have an alternative burger for veganism.
like plant-based.
This is kind of taking the piss out of it by saying it's half beef, half vegan.
Right.
So it's
Just
a
a
vegan
just a balanced meal.
bap with actual meat inside it, or vice versa.
So
it's just like
Half vegan.
or is it just a beef burger with an extra veggie patty in it?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what it is. But then it's
Which
the way
sounds
they've
quite
marketed
nice.
it, right?
but they've marketed it in
a
a way that's like,
Have they though? Because we need to check, because this is the Mirror. We need to check our sources.
Well, let's look at the Brewdog's tweet, which is right there.
Introducing the hybrid burger.
50% plant-based Beyond Meat and 50% beef burger patty, melted vegan Gouda cheese,
Matcha
crispy
tea
onion
bun.
straws, potato, all sandwiched between matcha tea buns. Try it now. Yeah, it's not really promoting that it's vegan.
50% less meat. 100%
It used the
delicious.
word, vegan, and it said 50% less meat, even though it's just adding a vegan.
Yeah, I mean, like, that's
wonder if
already a
it's-
very large beef patty on there.
Yeah.
I'd say that's enough beef.
Are they just trying to convince meat eaters to start edging towards that kind of food, or are they just? I don't imagine that someone said, "Let's take the fucking piss out of vegans," because that'll be. I mean, obviously we're talking about, aren't we? So
there's another
it does work.
argument against even doing replacement burgers, because like you're still trying to recreate meat or like the product of
but
meat.
that's for the meat eaters. I think that's the reason behind that is they want meat eaters to conform and start eating more veggies.
It's a
rather than the other way
gateway
around.
drug.
If
It's a gateway drug to veganism.
Because if you are vegan, you won't eat meat, and you're not going to go for meat-looking products, are you? So
yeah, I guess you wouldn't. But Beyond Burgers, like coming to Burger King, for example, and that's come under fire because it's like you are surrounded by meat products, yet you're offering this one thing. I feel like you're just doing it for profit rather than for the cause.
Potentially.
it's a step in the right direction.
Exactly.
Like,
exactly.
you can get nitpicky about these things, but if suddenly more orders
I'm
for
not
this other
defending
burger
that point of view,
start
but
rising, you're like, well, actually, this is kind of a good thing.
It's not funny
But
news.
you've got to have those in there.
No,
It's interesting.
It
It doesn't have to be funny. Like it's interesting. But
matcha tea buns, that sounds
that
quite
sounds
nice.
really good. Yeah. I
I'm up
mean,
for it.
it's I'm in the same boat. I think that it's a step in the right direction.
Yeah.
It's
Like,
just outrage for outrage's sake.
I would love. Yeah, it is. It is.
Yeah.
Really, it's outrage for outrage sake.
Like, this is not harming anybody.
It's
apart
like
from
the electric scooter thing.
Look
Yeah.
at
Like, again, like,
talking about electric scooters, there was I don't know if it's on there, but apparently a load of people in Germany, because there's the Oktoberfest going on. Apparently 414 people were caught riding an e-scooter whilst under the influence.
oh yeah.
And so 254 lost their driving license as a result.
Oh my God.
So they were just like, obviously enjoying Oktoberfest. So let's hop on these scooters. We're not driving. And then got taken down. And some of their licenses taken away.
Good God. What have they got on bicycles?
Well, I don't know.
You don't. It's because it's not a powered vehicle.
I think you can.
It's not got an engine.
If you're
drunk
pissed,
cycling,
if you're pissed on a bike, and you fall over or you hurt
hit
yourself,
car or
if you hit a car, I mean, if you get into a car crash that's proven to be your fault whilst under the influence, then you're operating. I guess that's bad. That's probably illegal. Yeah. However, by the sounds of things, these guys are going along the road drunk, so they're probably swerving a bit and all that sort of stuff. But ultimately,
and they've got their obviously the
Steins, the beer Steins, and their
probably
lederhosen.
Filled lederhosen on. Obviously
What I'm getting at is
made to serve them as they're scooting.
We've got the person who is drunk. They get on a bicycle and try and cycle home. They're really drunk. They fall over. The cars are beeping at them. An officer goes, either get up, put the bike out of the way. You're too pissed. Walk home, sober up, get a taxi, or they charge them with drunk and disorderly. depending on the cop, right? That's what happens. On the electric scooter, suddenly they're losing their driving license. Like
their driving license, I feel like, obviously, I feel like that shouldn't come into play because they specifically not got into a car because they know that obviously they're inebriated.
But you're still
getting them off with a warning might be
danger, right?
Sure, but getting them off with a warning rather than taking their driving license, which is a separate thing, which they've obviously tried to avoid doing.
I think it's because it's got an engine in it, essentially. That's why.
There's a motor in there now.
It's banned in running because it's got an engine.
Such a tiny distinction there.
Bikes don't have an engine.
Yeah.
Therefore, you can't accelerate as quickly and go as fast without as much effort.
Yeah, you can be just as reckless and just as dangerous on a pedal bicycle as you can on an electric scooter.
I wonder if it's just a case
I will not back down, not against you, but I'm completely maintain that. Yeah. I'm just as much a danger to myself and others on a bicycle as I am on an electric scooter.
But in this scenario, why not introduce, licenses for scooters and bikes in a sensible way where you have
they really should. I just feel
half day training or
like
whatever.
A CBT.
You've gone through it, and you've gone through a specific training.
I'm wondering the reason why they don't. They haven't yet
because it's new.
France has,
and legislation moves too slowly.
France has done it.
So
they've got licenses.
They've put in a speed limit for it, and you're only allowed to use it in certain cycle lanes and things like that.
Right. Okay.
I don't know the specifics, but they've reinstated laws for it.
So I was in Amsterdam this weekend. And holy fuck, there are a lot of bicycles there, and I mean silly amounts. If you've never been to Amsterdam,
it's racks and racks.
They are everywhere. Everything that you can conceivably strap a fucking bicycle to in Amsterdam, they've done it. Right? There's a fence there. Let's stack 8 bikes against it. Also, so in the city centre, you have really quite complicated road systems because Amsterdam's quite an old city. You have bicycle lanes everywhere, which is great. Mm-hmm. You have trams all over the place, and then you have about 6 different heights of pavement. You've been there quite recently, right?
Well, when I was there, a cyclist hit the car that I was in at the time. As in, fell into it.
I don't know how it doesn't happen all the time.
Cycled away.
So they have 4-way intersections in Amsterdam that don't have stop signs on them.
That's crazy.
So,
oh really?
For most Europeans, we don't usually have 4-way intersections because they're shit. Roundabouts are better. God, I'm getting so angry about roundabouts.
It flows through traffic.
Yeah, roundabouts are much better than 4-way intersections. But how they do it in the States is you have stop signs. So that means that if you're traveling at speed on this angle and there's a person traveling on speed at this angle, they don't just go that, right?
Yeah.
You all stop, you check, and then you
give way to the
one
right
of them gives you give way depending on what side of the road you drive on. But in Amsterdam, they have those no stop signs. So the amount of times I saw bicycles just straight over crossings, and then I'd see a car trundling along. It's a fucking nightmare. Amsterdam, it's not good.
But then should it be a case of them just take cars away?
It's absolutely fucked. But electric scooters there, if you ride an electric scooter in Amsterdam, you get an on-the-spot fine of 250 euros, that. However, you don't have to wear a helmet in Amsterdam. Nobody uses lights on their bikes, right? In Amsterdam, right? Literally, there's this culture of you don't wear helmets when cycling bike. I never saw anyone wearing a helmet in Amsterdam. It's just infuriating that
that's a lot of other problems.
Yeah, it's just so strange that these scooters and things are being targeted when there are so many things wrong with other nations.
There's an interesting stat about the bikes.
Yeah.
So there's 850,000 residents in Amsterdam, and together they own 847,000 bicycles.
Oh my god!
So it's almost like a 1-to-1.
Yeah,
they're everywhere.
Represents 1.91 bicycles per household.
There's also loads of boats because obviously there's canals.
Yeah. That's nuts.
How many 100,000 boats are there, Ross? Where are those stats?
I haven't got those stats, and I don't care to look those ones up. But this
one thing I will say of scooters versus bikes.
Yeah.
If you got on a bike and you tried to pedal up to 12 miles an hour.
Mm-hmm.
That takes a considerable amount of effort, and you won't get there as fast as you will on an electric scooter.
Mm-hmm.
You just push a button,
Sure.
and you're going at speed near pedestrians.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas bikes takes a considerable amount of effort to get up to that speed. There's a
But what I would
greater
say is,
risk.
how often do you crash in the first 5 seconds of accelerating on a scooter? Is it much more likely that you will get sideswiped or hit a junction or something
At
like
speed.
that? I don't think it's that acceleration which is causing the extra risk.
Well, you
Potentially not.
stopped using your scooter, didn't you? Well, Craig
I've
still uses his.
stopped.
Is that just because you don't want to use it as much? I mean, to be fair, it's wetter now, so
Yeah, I was put off by the London thing.
Yeah.
Fair enough. It's not really been instated in Bristol at all.
Yeah.
Or
I've
monitored
used
in any way.
regular.
B, I just enjoy walking.
Yeah, I do like
walking.
walking.
Podcasts and stuff.
Yeah.
on the
That
way.
is, yeah. But that's because you're a responsible user who doesn't wear headphones whilst also, on a bike or a scooter.
No, I,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like, absolutely.
also-
I don't do that. I like that as well. Like, walking, you can put your headphones in. Like,
Yeah.
I'm fucking never put my headphones in on a scooter because I'm terrified of
But when
getting
you
hit.
see a group of people, you aren't going to just start going weaving in and out of the
No,
line.
no.
You get off and you walk past them.
Yeah.
Because
or you
that's the
slow
right thing to
right
do. Like
down
you would
and
do
go
if you.
really wide.
Yeah, and it's just like, it's, common sense.
I have started buzzing people who are walking in cycle lanes though,
Really.
because Mother of God, Bristol does not know about how cycle lanes work. Like, if you go to like Germany again,
It's
the
very clearly labelled as well.
The Netherlands, or lots of other places like that, you don't walk in cycle lanes. And if you do walk in cycle lanes, people in cycle lanes will shout at you, "Get the hell out of the cycle lane." It's like walking in the middle of the road, essentially,
Yeah.
right?
Oh,
in,
yeah.
In Bristol, we've had all of this roadworks done to give us more cycle lanes, all this other shit. And the amount of times people just use them as a guide. There's a pavement right next to them, and they're walking down a cycle lane because
Especially around Brewdog
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
Castle
There's that-
Park
yeah.
as well.
it's infuriating.
They're just
it's
like stumbling. To be
guys-
fair, some of them, like the lanes, just look like pavements.
they do.
And they have these tiny, like, engraved symbols.
Yeah.
They need to be
But you've noticed
visible.
them. Like, I don't know, it just really irritates me. And like, you go to the crossings and stuff, and what's more annoying is there was all of this works done, like all of this like civil works done for them to add all these extra crossings in for bikes and then for pedestrians and all this sort of stuff. Everyone just fucking ignores them, and it just makes even more chaos whilst they're being built, and
They
even
should
more
put
chaos whilst they're being
fine-
used.
On the spot fines for
What,
walking
if
in
you're-
cycle lanes.
It's so hard to do though.
£50.
Just educate people. Don't fine them. No punishment. Just educate
Now
them.
everything should be punishment based.
Put it
I
up
feel.
on
That's
boards.
the only way to get the message across.
We'll get the zapper out. There's also this one, which is can't pay will take your ankle monitor. You like that one?
Can't pay will take it away.
It's in that
Mine
same
and
vein.
Ross's favourite show.
It is in
No,
the same vein
we
as
hate
that.
it.
What is this?
So, the wording of this. Slaying suspect walks free for 2 weeks after ankle monitor is repossessed due to missed payments.
So they
How?
can't afford their ankle bracelet.
Why
so it
not?
gets taken off?
Hold on.
What on earth?
I'm more interested in the fact
Slayer.
that Buffy has been walking free for 2 weeks.
Slaying. That's such a weird word to use. I mean, it's
because
very
they can't
it's,
use murder and they can't because
it's very emotive, isn't it?
Slayer.
Slayer.
a man charged with capital
Just
murder
think
was
of
allowed to
Halo.
walk free for 2 weeks after his ankle monitoring device was repossessed. Clint Walker has an extensive criminal background. According to the Harris County District Attorney's Office, Walker was released on a $100,000 bond in June. Blah, blah, blah. Required to require a GPS. He then couldn't pay the monthly fees to the service provider guarding public service. The provider removed it without an order from the court, according to authorities. So
How much is it worth? That they were like, yeah, we'll get this bad boy. This is going to cover
Why
the
is
costs.
the ankle bracelet
For sale?
charged to the criminal?
I
I don't
know.
understand that.
Oh, because he was released on bond, which means that I don't know. So this is like I think this is part of the complication of American
Okay.
stuff.
Right, okay.
The $100,000 bond
Yeah.
was required for him to allow to walk free between his time of his arrest and the time of his trial.
Sure.
Typically, they'd be held in like a local jail or a county jail until
Yeah.
that point. But a $100,000 bond was posted to allow him to do that. However, part of his bond agreement was that you'd have to wear a GPS ankle monitor.
Yeah.
And they're not going to supply that, so you need to make sure that you're paying. That's why. It's America. Everything costs money.
What a loophole, though.
That is
you can like
bizarre, isn't
not
it?
pay it and get your ankle repossessed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can't pay, I'll walk
And
away.
then do a run.
Can't pay. I'm going to walk away.
He could literally use that to run away.
Yeah.
In
But
a
he's
way,
not going to
but-
have the financial means to get out of the country.
From the
is he?
sounds of it, yeah, you
Where'd
can't.
he get that bond from?
A bond. So there are
Oh,
bond
yeah.
offices.
Because
in-
bounty, like
Dog the
Bond-
Bounty Hunter is
yeah.
a bond hunter. Yeah.
Oh my god.
See, so to learn about that, I recommend watching Dog the Bounty Hunter, which is where I learned about it.
Oh, where did I see this? I don't know if it was a John Oliver episode. Or it was something like that where they explained, or maybe it was a Stacey Dooley thing. I can't remember. But
Might have
basically,
been, yeah, I think she did one.
where she went along with them as they tried to collect a bail bond.
Is it like a loan, essentially?
Yes.
Yeah, so basically a loan. So that
loan.
someone's giving them that money so they can
But
stay
a
out
bond,
of jail
I assume,
for a
is like
period
an
of time.
agreement that.
So it's secured against their possessions, I think, or something along those lines. But
Kind of like a mortgage is it against the house.
Yeah,
Or
a
like,
bond
yeah,
office
which
will
gets
pay to get you
repossessed.
released. Again,
So if you
it's been
miss
a
it-
long time since I watched Dog the Bounty Hunter, and it
So
wasn't.
if you miss that payment, then they're asking for more money, and obviously you're just getting deeper and deeper in that hole. So if they
And
they
then
don't
repossess
go back to
your-
jail to
Well,
sort
and that's
it out.
when they send Dog the Bounty Hunter after you, because basically what Dog the Bounty Hunter did is he was essentially working for bond companies who people had skipped payments on their bonds.
Mhm.
It's sad. It's
It's a very
depressing.
and it's a very like kind of aggressive method as well. They're
and this is why me
they
and
pulled
Ross
some guy at
love-
McDonald's. He was working at McDonald's and like
he was
trying to-
fingering someone.
he was fingering someone at the back. No, he was flipping burgers, and then they pull him out and go, well,
Is
What,
essentially
they actually
like-
pulled him out of his job?
yes, they went there.
It's so fucking broken.
And so then everyone had to watch this
Oh.
guy who's like, oh no, I'm trying to like work here to pay off some of that money. But he ultimately didn't go back.
It's like
to
legal mafia.
deal with the court case.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's crazy.
But it's like basically government sanctioned in terms of they allow that to happen.
And this is also the problem with
Is this
privatized medical
profitable, I
care.
assume?
Privatized medical care works in the exact same way.
because they're putting interest on the money they're lending them. They're just finding the most vulnerable people and taking advantage of them, and that's
And rinsing every element, every
Just
bit
really
of
fucked
money out of their life and their vitality until they're this crumpled, drug-addicted mess with...
Yeah.
Well, it's...
Going back to my earlier point, there's
Yep.
a small chance none of this exists. So, and it's all just propaganda pieces to get us to vote for.
I guess if you
Why would a vote even matter that much to create this grand illusion shot? This is the thing.
Or to keep you in England
it's all a dream.
and not
Fine.
moving elsewhere.
I'll stay in England.
yeah. Yeah,
It's working.
because I don't think
See?
I don't think they have the same kind of bail system in the UK. Not in the sense you have to pay a. I mean, if you're a criminal that's done something dreadful,
you
will be kept in prison for longer.
but that's the same in the States.
And then it counts
people
towards
aren't
your
eligible.
time, and that's how they equate it.
So Cambridge Analytica or a company thereof
Yeah.
knows where you are,
Yeah.
and you tried to go to a different country, Amsterdam,
Yep.
and what they did was bombard you with cyclists, which is the one thing they know you hate.
Really
Like a
irritates
flock of
me.
birds, but cyclists.
They fucked you up there,
Yeah.
and also
Yeah.
Amsterdam doesn't really exist anyway, so it's like a plot.
It's a
It
fake,
was a set.
fake place.
So they bombard you with that, so you have this traumatic memory of like leaving to go anywhere else, and then on the way back, it's like
I missed my flight.
missed your flight.
Oh yeah, I didn't. Oh, that would
Yeah.
probably be quite a good hat chat thing. Well, not really. I just got stuck in Amsterdam airport for 10 hours.
Yeah.
10 hours.
It's a long time to be in an airport, boys.
Massive.
And how do you feel now? Do you want to go back to Amsterdam?
I mean, Amsterdam's a really great place. I just noticed it and just thought it was absurd. You know me, I like to complain about things. And
If you were to go on
it's
holiday
big
again, would it
yeah.
be Amsterdam next?
well, I see Amsterdam's more of a weekend break. I don't really see it as a
Yeah.
holiday. Like
There's
Well,
Twitch
weekend
is
plus
in
a day.
Amsterdam, isn't it?
Huh?
Twitch is gonna be in
weekend
Amsterdam.
weekend and a day.
weekend and a day now,
And a day,
because
Well, long weekend.
I missed my flight by
But
3 minutes.
You got to enjoy the airport for 10 hours.
It's a great airport,
Yeah.
but like not 10 hours
Did
great.
you go to a Dixon's? Is there a Dixon's there?
No.
They should
No.
have theme parks there.
W.
That'd be
Smith?
amazing.
See, I did look up stuff like that. I
There's
was
arcades and they are shit.
Yeah. I was hoping. The thing is, it's not that often that I've spent 10 hours in an airport to warrant this.
No.
But I was like, I wonder if they have a cinema. Because imagine, like, you know,
Yeah.
go watch a new film. Like that's 3 hours usually,
some
isn't
time.
it? Like, I was like, oh, do they have? No, they don't have a cinema.
No.
That
That's a
would
good
be
idea.
good, though.
But then I
Yeah.
guess she's got
They have one in Singapore. So Singapore airport's got all sorts of crazy shit in it. It's got a water park in it.
That's cool.
a water park
yeah.
in an airport.
In an airport.
People are going to the airport to literally use
have
it.
fun,
I guess
yeah.
that's also the thing they're trying to cut down on. They don't want people to come out to an airport for the entertainment to a degree.
Why not?
You've got to keep it kind of like shit enough that you're not grabbing a load of people in who aren't actually getting flights, which is
I
busy
see
enough
what
as
you
it
mean.
is.
Yeah.
You know, there's
What
now a
was past
queue
the
for
secu-
Joker or
what
some
was
shit. You're like,
past the
come on, these aren't even
security
getting
gate
flights. These guys.
Huh?
If it's past the security gate,
Yeah.
you've already got your flight
I
ticket.
guess so. Yeah. That's a good point. Yeah.
We should go to Singapore.
Let's bring the cinemas and the theme parks.
Yeah, well, you got the cinema, but we will announce every
Yeah.
flight departure.
Everyone's
in
getting the cheapest
cinema.
flight possible. Yeah.
really tense moment.
The flight to Belgium is now departing.
We need an Alan Smith. Please, an Alan Smith to Gate 4.
Damn, it's my alias.
Jesus Christ! You see the guy right in the middle of the cinema. It's fully packed. Oh shit!
Gets up,
Popcorn's up. That's me. The flight's going now.
legging it, dragging his bag.
He's
through
got
the-
a suitcase with him.
So actually, Amsterdam's quite a silent airport, so they don't actually make announcements.
Ah,
So fuck you and your funny idea.
In a way, that's kind of like annoying, and like you want a little bit.
Yeah, but why do they make announcements?
Because when Alan Smith is desperately like missing a flight,
but why does announcing make any difference?
The flight's leaving earlier than normal.
Oh yeah.
Fuck. That's so rare. That never happens.
Sudden changes, or delays.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
I don't know, it made it much more peaceful.
Yeah.
I liked it. I think
apart
Amsterdam
from people
Airport.
stressing out because they don't know anything that's going on.
What is going on in
Honey,
here?
we'll wait for the announcement.
To be
It's
fair,
been several hours.
I
The flight would have left by
I
now.
was getting stressed out because I was trying to find the like EasyJet desk to like find out if there was another flight soon. And it's just all cheese shops and clog shops and everything. And I'm like, seriously, there are so many
I'll get the
retail
clogs and
shops.
cheese later, but I really need this.
I was
need
like,
to find
I
out.
know where the EasyJet thing is, and I found the KLM one, and they were like, yes, we have a flight. It's £450, and I'm like, £450?
Spat in his face.
It's 45 minutes.
10 pounds a minute.
And then I asked one of the security guards, bizarrely, because it's all G4S staff for some reason in Amsterdam, and I said, where's the EasyJet desk? And he's like, oh, you have to go back out through security, and I'm just like, bro.
I'm done.
It just took me fucking 40 minutes to get through security.
How many times have you cycled through like airport securities accidentally? Just, oh man, we're back in another.
And sprinting through them.
That's your Groundhog Day.
Yeah.
That is your Groundhog Day, just going looping back around. Like, oh, what, another?
I've started
Another security check?
I've started asking.
Fair enough.
I've started asking people like what they're doing now. Like, you know how like sometimes you see those guys at airports or in situations where they're like, why am I being searched? And you're kind of like, just let them fucking do it. Like, it's going to take 2 seconds. Now I'm like, what are you wiping? Like, what's that wipe for?
Or they wipe your shoes.
Yeah, or they're wiping my laptop. So I found out the Razer laptop apparently isn't scannable through an X-ray machine. So whenever you put my razor blade through, they're like,
comes out blank.
Didn't scan. We're going to have to look at it again. And I was like, great. This is going to be like the time that I always have to go to a human because my name's Alex Smith and it flags up too many people on Interpol.
Generic.
Anyway, they scan it and I'm like, what are you actually like, what are you doing? And they're like, we just need to like get it out and do it now. Well, what did you do the first time when you sent it through?
I thought it was like do they check for drugs traces?
Materials,
no,
right?
the trace explosives.
So they're like
9 times out of 10, that wipe thing is going to be for explosives. And
I'm pretty sure we've gone shooting like the day before leaving somewhere.
Exactly. So if you have gone, so a lot of people, it gives false positives for if you've watched a firework display the night before, for example. So like
that's sulfur.
All of that, residual gunpowder basically coming down on you. If that lands on you, like I know somebody who actually got like full on interviewed because they'd been at a firework show the night before.
I take it as like a holistic drug.
What gunpowder?
Gunpowder is a tablet.
Like a little get the sizzle on your tongue.
Gets the fire going.
Yeah.
Does nothing though.
I can see that being a product in a holistic.
Well, we've talked about wanting to make our own fireworks. I think we should do that.
we were saying that.
It's easy.
As long as it's all
then
legal.
see how they taste afterwards.
Yeah,
Eggy.
Edible
probably
fireworks.
Stinky.
Before or after? You light them. We've got to light it, then eat it, and then let it go off and see what happens.
Ugh.
Sounds really dangerous,
dangerous
but I'm
as hell.
interested. More importantly, zoom enhanced pervert.
Yeah, I'm into
You
that
want
one.
to see what this
Is it zoom enhanced pervert or pervert?
Well, again, it's called Obsessed Fan Finds Japanese Idol's Home by zooming in on her eyes.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
wow.
Isn't
That's Blade
just
Runner-esque.
insane? That is like, that's why I call it zoom enhanced, because it's the
don't
typical
want to
CSI, like
judge.
zoom, enhance. Like, what resolution was that
Did
picture?
they pick a photo of the guy like that, or
They
you
found,
know,
well,
Yeah, they will. They'll pick an image to make them look
that'll
bad.
be from a
I mean, it's
video.
creepy as fuck.
Probably from CCTV from the looks of it, and they've just
he
like
just
gone
looks for podcast.
this is where he looks like
he's very side-eyeing, like he's been
Yeah.
caught. Did you know that high-resolution phone cameras can expose more than just pimples and pores? You might be revealing your location to internet predators without even realizing. So he looked at the reflection in this woman's eyes and found out where she lived.
She has very glassy eyes, though. Like, that is
Also, if
she's
you look
giving away a lot.
If you look closely enough, it also says a full address.
Yeah, full address, like social security numbers. There's a lot of details, pin codes in there.
We're zooming in. We're
Craig's zooming
in.
enhancing. Go on, get in there, Craig. He's zooming enhancing. Can you see anything? What's he going to do with that information, then? That's the worrying part,
It's
I
just
guess.
above the Twitter.
Oh god, for me, like
social media buttons.
Is that
I'm glad
it?
those get bigger. We've letterboxed the webpage with just this.
That's as far as it goes.
Why are the social media buttons so big?
I don't know. Do
What's
you
that middle
ever
one?
click on those?
What
social
even
media
is that
buttons?
middle
That's
one?
mail, email. That's
Telegram?
I hate those social
wait,
media
yeah,
buttons.
that's
I
a
don't
good
ever
point.
click on them.
No, I never.
Because it gives you like a pre-written
Pre-made
text
thing, yeah.
And it's just like, well, that's not me.
I'm not your shill.
I'm not. Yeah, I'll copy and paste the link in like everyone else.
You're not the guys clicking those buttons.
Absolutely.
So what's this? Oh, hang on. So she.
Look at him.
So
So this is an idol, right?
yeah.
Now, from what I know about idols, they're entirely
They don't do much.
manufactured. Her idol, different spelling, but I like it. So they make them like the ultimate girlfriend or boyfriend, right? It's like, I want to imagine that this person is like for me. They said they're encouraged not to date.
This is Japanese
don't talk
idols,
about
not South Koreans.
South Korean.
Same shit.
Is it the same?
Yeah. They do similar stuff. Like,
can you not expose your eyes too much? Thank you.
Stop it. They'll find out. Your fucking forehead's so shiny.
I'll do a sips.
But like, what do you expect when you build like these brands and these ideas behind idols? Like, it's like people are going to come and want to bang him. You know?
Yeah, that's a good point.
They can't see shit through these.
Like,
it
that
kind of.
Creepy people exist. Newsflash, assholes.
But
weird people exist, and they're going to do weird things when you create weird environments for them to behave inside of.
Yeah, I guess
Like-
they came first. And they're like, we can utilize this audience.
They're rinsing weirdos for their money.
This guy had even approximated the story that she lived on based on the windows and the angle of the sunlight in her eyes.
See, we should hire this guy.
This guy is like
For what?
Super spy.
the super pervert.
do we
Like this,
need
he
him
has
for?
gone to
Finding
some
people.
great lengths to specifically track down this person.
You know, the security service could probably use somebody like that.
At that point, there's nothing you can do to stop someone like that.
No.
So she was waiting at a bus stop.
Yeah, privacy doesn't exist anymore.
She had reached her door when Sato approached her from behind, covering her mouth with a piece of cloth.
Oh my god. This
Wow.
is a guy with a motive.
Yeah,
We need to hire him for MI5 or MI6.
Yeah.
Probably MI6, because we don't want him fucking around in this country. Send him over to the foreign countries and let him deal with them over there.
He dragged her to a dark corner
That's
and
what MI6
molested
does.
her.
Send him to
He
Amsterdam.
molested her,
He molested her as well.
injuring her face in the struggle.
Oh my god.
This is crazy. That's
This is really
fucked up.
dark.
That's real. I mean, it's dark, but it's the way he did it, which is still awe-inspiring.
Oh my god.
And-
No, it's not.
Just
Who goes to that length to find someone?
no one, not real people. That could be all in your head.
Look what's happening with this manufactured band, like forcing you to look like the ultimate appealing girlfriend.
Mm-hmm. And then also, obviously, that fits in with.
But that's saying like
that's
video.
the yin, so to speak, and you still need the yang.
Yeah.
Is it like
of,
saying that
crazy person?
video games cause violence? Though, is it going down that territory?
No, well, yes,
Because
but
that person
Don't
is
know.
clearly capable of doing those things and would maybe latch onto something else.
if you built a game that said we are going to make you the ultimate school shooter, then yes, I think you can blame the game for that, because you are attracting an audience who's already conducive to that kind of thinking, right?
Bullet roulette.
It's the
Do we
classic
feel
Field
like
of
we
Dreams.
wanna
If
shoot
you build it,
ourselves?
they will come.
Yeah, exactly. No, I think that's it. Like, I don't
Nice,
think
nice.
games make people violent. I think if you have a person who's predisposed to violence, and this is why I'm kind of like, guns are kind of in the same box as well. I know I say some kind of controversial things about guns, but like, if you add a person who's predisposed to violence or has been raised in a certain way that makes them behave in an unpredictable or scary or violent way, and then you give them something else that either encourages or empowers them around that thinking, then wow, what a surprise. This plus this equals this. Like,
Plus a high
same sort of
megapixel
thing.
camera phone.
Guns don't kill people, rappers do.
That's fair.
So did the
golden
police.
looking chain, wasn't it?
That's why Christmas
Jesus.
should be banned.
That's why
a
Christmas
lot
should
of
be
rapping
banned.
there.
Yeah, exactly.
On a lighter note, horny cat needs a glucose drip after a busy night.
Hey!
So male cat needs glucose
Get
drip
in!
after mating with
Plus
5
a lot of
females in
energy.
one night
In
in a
one
pet
evening.
hotel.
Wow. He went
He's
for
been
it. You can tell though.
left needing a drip after mated with at least 5 females when he was let out of his cage by pet hotel staff.
I mean, kudos.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, there's also
No, I don't think that was his name.
if you scroll down, Craig, there's a very interesting picture of it looking exhausted, which is quite funny. Just looks absolutely naked.
It's one of those like.
Oh man.
What kind of
do?
What breed is that?
Oh, Long Johnson.
It's like the Russian style looking ones, the dark skin.
Yeah, they
like
look. Oh man, I can't remember what they're called.
Sheba, kind of like.
They're kind of So what was it here? So
What did I do?
I need a glucose drip, man.
So horny.
So they left their they left him at the pet
Is that the
hotel by his
actual-
owners. Mr.
Yeah.
Zhao said
Mr.
they
Zhao.
specifically told the
Oh.
business that Xiaopi had not been neutered. Okay. I thought they'd be professional, but the staff member didn't feed Xiaopi during the date. That's the name of the
Sorry,
cat,
wait,
by the
hold
way.
on, go down. There's some really great dialogue we need to read. Scroll to the bottom.
Oh, really?
Okay, so it said,
He said.
Zhao claims the Pet Staff Hotel blamed him for the incident, complained that some cat owners weren't planning on having kittens. He said, they had the nerve to be upset with me. They wanted me to explain the situation to all the other owners. My fucking cat is exhausted and on a glucose drip, and this is my fault? Zhao later revealed the pet hotel apologized not to pay for Zhao P's fluid therapy.
Craig, scroll down again. Look at the cat. There's another one. It looks even.
Oh,
he's just lounging.
That's an amazing cat. I so want that one.
Apparently, they're going to compensate each pregnant cat's owners 500 renminbi, which I think is a fake currency. That's a fake currency in my eyes.
It can only be spent inside the cat hotel on non-cosmetic products.
And they promised to sell any kittens on their behalf.
They're edible.
Okay.
They're also edible. I mean, I just love that they like.
It's a Russian blue. That's what it's called.
Russian blue.
It's a nice cat.
And it can be worth up to $2,000.
Now there's going to be more of them.
So that's what you're probably like, I've done you a favour!
Yeah.
It's like, oh, come down. Like, horny cats going crazy.
They'll either give me the kittens or, what was it? Or $220 if their cat turns out to be pregnant.
We'll make the cat
so they are actually paying him. Yeah, nice.
Oh, wow.
That's fair play. What?
Damn.
All of the night's work.
What a player. Did he do it on purpose?
Certainly. Oh, what? As in... Oh, what? He put a randy cat in there, slipped it in.
Gonna get that money for all the pregnant
stealth stud
kittens.
Yeah. How about this one? Boobs on fence, racist woman.
We got time for one more, I think.
Time for the boobs on fence, racist woman. I don't know how funny this is. It was really the boobs part on the fence, which kind of really drew me in. Okay. Not that there's an image of it. There is no image of it, guys. Don't get too excited. Milford Haven woman admits racially abusing neighbour whilst breasts were hanging over fence.
Wow, they sound like a quality human being.
It sounds like a trashy...
Draws quite a picture there, doesn't it?
The tits, right? Fuck off back home! You got these huge... Put your tits away!
Well, just, for God's sake, at least cover up when you're going to be racist.
Doesn't lend much credence to their argument, does it, really? It's like, really? I'd happily walk away from this.
She pleaded guilty to racially aggravated offence or causing harassment, alarm or distress. Sean Vaughan. That's
what name. Sean Vaughan.
Sean Vaughan.
Sounds like a super.
Prosecuting.
She was drunk.
Said Thomas, 37, had got on with her neighbour of 4 years until she approached her while drunk last year. At about 5:45 on August 13th, the neighbour was at home with her children looking out a window and saw Miss Thomas falling out of a taxi. Her partner was trying to pick her up off the floor. Thomas noticed the woman closing her curtains and gestured as if to invite her outside for a fight.
Nice.
She swore, called her a name, and also made threats to take her dog. She was hanging over the fence with her breasts hanging out.
Oh my God.
She then went running towards the house and pulled her skirt up to show her backside to members of the public. Thomas called the complaints names consumed. Her breasts were exposed and hanging over the fence. A dog was jumping up and licking at her breasts. What on earth happened that night? Oh my God.
The dog was licking her breasts.
Oh.
The scene is so ridiculous.
In an interview, how crazy.
At the same time, we've all been that drunk. Let's be honest. Maybe not the racism.
All the tits out.
My boobs have been on it.
The dog's just going to town.
We've all been that dog.
My client is amazed to say she's not a racist at heart. Magistrates fined Thomas
I think you are.
Yeah.
I think that alcohol exposed your inner racist.
It certainly yeah, exactly. Jesus Christ, at heart.
At heart.
Nah, but I wouldn't want people to know me as a racist.
No.
Oh.
Well,
but with all my barriers down, I'm very much
I am very
Take
much.
away my vodka.
I have some deep-seated racial issues.
Jesus.
But yeah, she got fined £300 and £117 in costs.
Oh,
and a
is that all it costs her on a magistrate's? 117 quid.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know how long this was. It sounds like it would have been a half hour. Of like, wow, you're fucked up. Yeah, you're charged. Yeah,
I'd be like, ridiculous. This is crazy. Tell me more.
Right, this is an in-out case.
Yeah.
Talking of fake everything.
Yeah,
right.
Go on.
Memory, right? So like witness accounts of things like this.
Yeah.
It just shows how incredibly flawed people's memories are. There's like a thing on, I can't remember what I was watching.
Oh yeah.
But like trying to recall 9/11.
Yep. What was that? I watched the same thing.
Yeah. But basically there was this person that has a vivid image of them looking out the window and the smoke rolling over the water. And they figured out that their proximity from 9/11, it was physically impossible for them to have seen it.
Yeah.
So what they were doing was their memory was splicing together images of what they saw on TV with them looking out the window.
That's Netflix, The Mind Explained.
The Mind Explained.
Yeah,
really good. And it's kind of scary because it's like
20 minutes, 20-minute episodes.
So that makes it more concerning for actual like cases that historical cases,
and how
they tried to solve historical cases and they've used witness testimonies to convict people.
Well, this is part of what they talk about.
But also, like your own memory is basically a fluid thing, and you kind of piece together, different logics to make the one whole of the memory. And
well, they said memory and imagination are like two sides of the same coin, right? And that's why you can remember false things because it's very closely linked with your ability to imagine and think of things.
And think ahead and plan for the future.
But it's very cool.
It's very cool, and also just like it's kind of flawed in the way that...
Yeah. I mean, we are like really trippy, like biological computers that can really easily go wrong.
But that's an argument for like that. Like, what's the first episode of Black Mirror? The one where they... Well, it's the first one where they have the implant in the side where they actually... A History of Me, is it? Or where obviously it shows harrowing things like he manages to witness his wife cheating on him and stuff like that, which is like horrendous. And
so they can relive any memory,
so you can relive any memory to an exact detail. And obviously they cover that further on later on in the newer series when they're asking people to be witnesses nearby to a crime that happened on the street. And they said, we saw that you were looking out the window at this time from somebody else's memory. What were you doing in there? And it was like this. That was a really fucking good episode. I love that one. Where she was, and then she claimed to be watching porn or something, but she's actually covering up a crime. What to watch?
What, the fact that she dangled her tits over her neighbour's
She wasn't
fence?
on the... Yeah, she was just fucking...
I saw the dog.
We need the dog's memory. The
dog's licking their tits. I don't know what's going on. This sounds made up. But a 300 quid and we're out of it. Early lunch.
Magistrate wasted time.
But that's probably all we've got time for today. We want to thank our Patreon guys. If you've supported us on Patreon, we have 450 strong out there.
That's right, and you will be credited at the end of the YouTube video. If you
video-wise, but not audibly because
there's a lot. There's 450 names.
And it's a lot to do at the end of a podcast.
It'll be longer than the podcast.
Yeah, but you allow these things to keep going, so we very much appreciate you. Check out our YouTube channel if you want to see the VOD and the visuals that came along with this episode.
The YouTube channel is Hat Chat Podcast.
Yeah,
or just / Hat Chat, right?
I think it is, youtube.com/Hat Chat.
Lovely. And if you want to send us some questions, some information, just how your day is going, really.
Yeah, we probably won't use it in a podcast. But
if it's interesting enough, we will. But
funny news articles, could be good.
Video clips.
Yeah, if you've seen funny news ones.
Yeah, that kind of thing. hat-films.com. Also send your fingles there. Very much need fingles.
Yes, fingles.
So if you come up with a musical intro and outro, that'd be wonderful.
In a way, I feel like we've pressured some people who don't know how to use instruments to do it because they're like, they're desperate for them.
It's like Inktober, it kind of forces you to do it, right?
Yeah.
So
get out there, get the water bottles out, measure it out properly, and give us that bottle tune.
Ding, 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 ding. Yeah, perfect.
And it can only be
if that happens, that'd be so fucking good.
It has to be in one line.
Ding, 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 ding.
Yeah.
It can't be ding, 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 ding.
They'll go to an entire bottle bank and just in a circle.
Your hand has to go at one speed, so you need thinner and thicker bottles. Ding, 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 ding. Diddling, 3 little small ones.
So you got like a really thick one to like increase the time.
Yeah, increase the distance.
If someone does this would be amazing.
Yeah.
But we're not going to put the effort into do it
ourselves. I want to see that. No. Hell no.
Yeah.
Anyway, thanks for listening and watching if you are on YouTube. And we'll see you next time.
Indeed.
On the Hat Chat podcast.
Ta-ra for now.
Good day.
See you later.